Whether you're part-time, maybe looking to go full-time, or maybe this is just something you want to jump into and do it full-time just from the get-go, don't do it yet until you listen to the 5 things I'm going to tell you to consider before making the leap. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin Ain't Easy, and for those of you who've never watched my channel before, I'm a 6-figure eBay reseller. I have 2 eBay accounts. Year over year, I've been fairly consistent. I mention that only for the fact that, not as a brag, but just to lend some credibility to some of the things I want to talk to you about. And that is things that you should consider, and 5 things that you should consider before doing this as a full-time gig. And I know it's tempting. I know staying at home, there's a lot of pros and cons to reselling. So staying at home, not having the commute, not having that boss down your throat, being your own boss, running your own business, making it happen for yourself. And all that seems glamorous on the surface, but there's some things that you need to know, you have to really consider before making the leap. In no way am I trying to discourage you from doing this full time. In no way am I trying to say you can't do it, because that's the furthest thing from the truth. I want each of you to succeed. That's the whole point in this channel. And before I begin with the 5 things, let me just say this one thing. This is kind of a bonus tip. As you're watching this video, really consider the source that you're listening to, whether it's my channel or another channel, okay? Be very careful. There's a lot of channels out there that want to charge you, $99.95 for that magical course, which only tells me that they're not giving you their all, their 100%, their best information for free. They're making you pay for it. And just be very careful, okay? I don't have that model. I feel like, if I can't bring you the best information that I can provide, then I certainly shouldn't be in the position to try to charge you for it. So that's just the way I think. Just kind of watch different eBay channels, not just this one, but there's other good ones out there. Just take bits and pieces of things that make sense to you and apply them to what you're trying to do as a reseller. That's my best advice to give you on that front. So the first thing I think that you should really consider before making the jump to full-time reselling, start reselling as a part-time reseller first. There's nothing worse than jumping head-on into something full-time and then finding out it's not something for you. And in this business, a lot of people go out and spend money. I have a friend, we've talked about him before, a couple years ago. He came on down. I showed him a place to pick up some stuff. He spent like $4,000 on goods, had a trailer, had everything, traveled 200 miles each way, was really gung-ho about it, had obtained like $30,000 worth of merchandise. And wouldn't you know it, to this day, he hasn't sold any of it, hasn't even listed any of it. And I'm not dogging him at all. We've had this conversation many times. I've called him on the phone and said, hey, how you doing today? Have you made any sales? Have you listed your items? No, I've cleaned some of these shoes, but I haven't really gotten into it. Or my son's going to help me, but he decided he didn't want to do it. And we've had that discussion. And I'm sure many of you seasoned sellers out there can identify. It's that whole mentality where we pick up this stuff, it sounds good, it's exciting, and then we bring it home and we kind of just stare at it, and we have to realize that the fun part may be the sourcing, but now it's time to get to work. And that's what holds a lot of people back. That's what holds a lot of people back that have already been established. They love the buying, but the other steps to get that stuff moved and liquidated into cash, which is the whole purpose why we're doing it, that's the toughest part. So try it part-time first. Start off, if you're low on funds, start off with the stuff you have in your garage, your attic, your basement, whatever, stuff you're not using, stuff that's collecting dust, stuff that doesn't fit anymore, and give it a try. Then and only then, go out and buy some stuff at a yard sale. Maybe go over to your thrift store. Go to liquidationmap.com, which is a site I recommend you using if you want to get into some liquidation, right? And then give it a try, but try it part-time, because this may not be for you. And you won't really know that until you get in there. You start making sales, listing items, dealing with difficult customers, doing the entire thing. And once you've done some sales, then you'll know whether or not it's something that you want to jump into. Now, with that said, the second thing is, if you have the opportunity to do this part-time, don't quit your day job, okay? And the reason why I say that is, this job of reselling doesn't come with benefits, okay? There is no medical. You got to cover that on your own, and that can get expensive. We've talked about that on another video. There is no vacation. There is no time off. You have to create that on your own and build that up in your business, okay? If you get sick, there's no sick time. You can't call in sick. You have to be your own boss. And what you need to know is that most resellers, most eBay resellers only make about 30, I think the number is $35,000 a year is what the average eBay reseller makes, okay? Some of the better resellers will make up to $70,000 a year. And of course, there's some better resellers that make a lot more than that. And that's profit, okay? So we can talk about all the sales we want, but it's about profit at the end of the day that pay your bills. And we'll talk about that in another video. But I just want you to consider that this is not a get rich quick scheme, okay? And if you have a $60,000, $70,000 job out there, you definitely don't want to just up and leave it if you have a choice. Now, maybe you hate your boss. Maybe you hate the job that you have to do. I get it. I understand it. You know, I lived in, and I was involved in a very stressful position at my last job where I had to deal with a lot of stress. I had a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. I get it. I don't have those same kind of pressures and stresses that I used to have, okay? Because I get to call my own shots. I don't have that boss that's constantly on my butt, okay? And so that might be what's pushing you to make this decision. But until you've done this part-time, you may be established. Where am I going to find the stuff to sell? All that stuff that we're going to answer here in a few minutes, or talk about in a few minutes. Don't quit your day job, because you're going to need that income, and it's best to get yourself established before you make that decision. And for me, I was selling part-time for many years. I had a full-time career, okay? And the only reason why I'm still not part-time on eBay and working at my 9 to 5 in management as I was is because I was given an ultimatum. My choices were simple. Either step down from management, relocate to the East Coast, okay, in a union shop. So I had good seniority, right? But there was definitely a pay cut. Or take the severance package and have a nice life. So my wife and I, we figured it out. We thought we did, and we decided to go with the latter. We took the risk, and I don't regret it, okay? There's a lot of good things about reselling, a lot of things that are rewarding. That peace of mind is rewarding, that freedom is rewarding. But I didn't have a choice. And some of you guys out there may have just lost your job, and you don't have a choice. You don't have the freedom of trying it out part-time. But if you do have that option, don't quit your day job. The next thing is make a plan, okay? Because if you don't have a plan, you better plan to fail. And when I say plan, you got to know, okay, hopefully you've tried this part-time. That should be part of your plan. Before I go full-time, let me just try it part-time. Put your feet in the water. See if you want to get in all the way. And having a plan is sourcing. We talk about this all the time on the channel. Sourcing is the #1 key to success in making this happen, okay? If you're not buying stuff at a good price, it's going to be hard for you to compete with other more established sellers out there, okay? So find good deals. Have a plan as to what do you want to sell. have an idea. And usually I say this: try to find something that you enjoy dealing with, whether it's clothes, whether it's shoes, whether it's sporting goods. Maybe you're an outdoors type of person. Find something that you want to start with, that you have expertise in, okay, and go with it. And I can tell you from experience, I'm a seller that sells pretty much everything, but I've conditioned myself into being okay with that, because when I first went full time, I hated selling just random stuff. I wanted to sell the electronics. I wanted to sell the stuff that I enjoyed messing with. And I still do gravitate towards a lot of those things, but I'm okay with selling pretty much everything. And that's okay. It works for me. Maybe not for you, but for someone that's new, try to gravitate towards something that you know and that you enjoy doing, because it's going to help you be motivated and keep you motivated into selling that item, okay, or that type of item. So those are some things to consider. But how do you know what's a good deal or not? Simply this: you got to know how to do some investigation on eBay. Go on, search for a particular item on eBay, and then click on the Solds tab down the left-hand side. And it'll show you, on average, based on condition, what the items have recently sold for over the last 90 days. Okay? So now when you're out and about at the yard sale and that Nike sweatshirt that you saw sell for 30 is being sold for 10, that'll give you an idea whether or not it's profitable for you to buy that item, okay? Plus you got to ship the item, you got to pay eBay fees, and you got to know all that. It's not good to just jump in blindly. You have to have an idea of your costs versus what you're going to be able to sell it for. Once you've picked it up, now what? What's your plan to list? How many items are you going to try to list each day? Where are you going to store the stuff once you have it up on eBay? Because it may take weeks, maybe months in some cases, to sell some stuff. So you have to have that all planned out. And if you don't do that ahead of time, you're going to be really regretting it. Number 4 is this: make a schedule and stick with it, okay? It's all fun and games, it seems like, that you can be your own boss, which means that I can get up, I can sleep in until noon, I can get up, I can work a few hours here, work a few hours there. Trust me, been there, done that. It don't work, okay? Because eBay wants you to be consistent. If you don't have a consistent schedule that you've put into place, you will not be consistent, and therefore you will not deliver the consistency that eBay is looking for you to be successful. Yeah, you'll make some sales, but the whole thing is, if you're doing this full time, you're not trying for a couple sales. You're trying to have consistent sales, that you continue to scale your store to where you can now, instead of selling 3 today, I'm selling 6 tomorrow, I'm selling 12 in 6 months from now, okay? But you can't do that with a I'll just list whenever I want to kind of mentality, because I'm my own boss. It just doesn't work that way. Figure out what you have going on in your life. Maybe you work around your significant other's schedule. Maybe you have to work that full-time shift when they get off work after you've done watching the kids, something like that, right? Figure that out, okay? Have that plan, because it's very frustrating to think that you are full-time doing this reselling business and you can't find the time to make it happen. And you can't find the time when you're winging it. You have to develop a schedule and stick with it. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is really what all of us resellers can actually do better at, and that is being honest with yourself, okay? Know your habits. Are you a procrastinator? Maybe because of that, it's going to be hard for you to manage your own performance, okay? Because you don't have a boss breathing down your back. It's just going to be you. Maybe your significant other is there to kind of push you. But you really have to have that drive. And that's the thing. I had a buddy, went in halves on a pallet with me a couple years ago, tried to introduce him to the business to supplement his retirement income. After 3 weeks, he's like, I'm done. I can't deal with this. I just don't enjoy it. And he just stopped selling. And it's because he didn't have that drive. He didn't have that motivation to keep himself going every day. Remember, we want to be consistent. eBay wants us to be consistent. You have to be able to get up out of bed on days you don't feel well. Maybe you're just not feeling it, and you need to feed eBay and provide eBay with listings. You have to answer customer questions. You have to deal with return situations that might arise. You have to deal with best offers and sending out offers to watchers on your items. You have to maybe, like I do, sell similar and keep recycling your items, right? You have to be on top of your business. And if you're not driven, maybe you're thinking, hey, I'm free. I don't have to answer to a boss anymore, so I can go out and do this and do that. And all the while, the business is at home waiting for you, and you're not addressing the needs of the business, you're going to fail, okay? Do you have distractions? Do you have kids running around while you're trying to list? Are you having things going on in the background? Are you trying to multitask eBay with a bunch of other things? You have to treat this seriously as a business, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to be difficult. You're probably going to fail. If you're not focused on this as a business, it's a fail. Let's just be honest. Are you disciplined enough to go and source for some items and list it, okay? You got to be honest with yourself. I can do better. I make these videos for you guys to try to help you out from my experience. I self-evaluate all the time. And just recently, I'm like, you know what? I can do better. Yeah, it's 110 out here in my garage. I'm out in Vegas. But I got to find a way. I got to find a way to do better, okay? It's easy to say, I did my 5 to 10 listings and I'm done. We got to constantly strive to be better if we're serious about building a business. And we can't take this cruise control mode that, hey, I sold a few items so I can take the day off. It doesn't work that way. I don't take days off. I take time off, and creating extra listings that you can launch later on days you want to take off. Now that's something different, and that's something that you can strive for. But you have to be serious with yourself. You have to sit down and have that conversation and either decide to do this 100% or don't even bother at all. It's just going to be a waste of time, money, and you're really going to be aggravated at the end. I may have missed something, so please comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you're trying to help someone for the first time who's just starting this business, or maybe they're part-time and they want to go full-time, what would you tell that person to do before they consider doing it? So if you like this content, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell, because you guys know me, I like to go live kind of like at the last minute. We have some pretty awesome viewers who will just stop what they're doing, come and hang out pretty much only with a couple hours notice, and I'd like for you to be a part of that too. Now I am going to try to give you guys some more notice in the future, but I can't promise that. But just the fact that we have a good community who will go and hang out, answer questions. Maybe you are new and just got a lot of questions to ask about eBay and getting started and running the business you're trying to make into a full-time gig. Come and hang out at one of our live stream videos. Hit the notification bell so that you can be a part of that. And of course, comment with your questions down below. I'd like to help people. If you have any questions, please put that down below, and either myself or another one of these great viewers will be glad to get back with you. Reselling is not hard. Let me just say that. It's not hard at all. It takes dedication. It takes the right kind of mindset. And if you're willing to go through all the steps and not skip steps, then you can make it work. But all the steps that I want you to consider are all examples of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your week, and we will talk to you very soon.